Now, do you have these alphabetized? I have to ask.
No, because I just moved them.
Right.
But
Okay. So
they
you're not
will
there
be
yet.
eventually.
They will be.
Will be
Okay,
eventually.
gotcha.
Don't fret.
I don't know how you
When we talk
organize.
for the next, when we talk to the sequel,
Yeah.
we'll have them alphabetized by that. So lovely meeting you both.
Likewise.
I want to start off by just kind of talking a little bit about this film, and it's interesting because I grew up on the East Coast, and I went to North Carolina a lot growing up, so it was nice kind of seeing some familiar places.
Yeah, sweet.
So I would love to kind of hear both of your takes on what it was like filming in North Carolina.
I thought it was awesome. I'm from Chicago, and we have a beach there on the lake, but it's not, it's not a real beach. And so filming in North Carolina was awesome. We filmed a lot in Carolina Beach, which was this like quaint pocket of Americana I maybe otherwise would have never visited. And I got to spend like 2.5 months there, which was awesome. And, there was so much to do there. And especially, we were filming constantly, but we did a lot while we were filming. We had a lot of activities that we had to film at night. So we got to, I think, do most of it. I ended up loving North Carolina. It's a really beautiful place, and especially a great film hub too. They make a lot of good stuff down there, and the crews are fantastic. So yeah, nothing but good things to say about North Carolina.
Yeah, I know the people were so kind. The weather was perfect, and Sarah Destin is from North Carolina, and so it's kind of like embedded in the original book, which therefore is in the script. And so then when we're shooting it, it just felt perfect.
Yeah.
So kind of jumping off that, were you both familiar with the source material before the film, or did you learn about it afterwards?
I knew about Sarah Destin. All of my friends were obsessed with her growing up. I hadn't read this book before auditioning, but I read it immediately after, and have read it many times since. And it was such a great resource in figuring out who Auden is, because it's from her perspective.
Yeah. Like Emma, I hadn't read the book when I got the part, but when I did get the part, I started hearing from a lot of people, oh my gosh, this was my favorite book in middle school. I read this in high school, which was, of course, encouraging to hear. And Sarah Destin's readership is massive. And she has a ton of fans for a great reason. She's a prolific YA author. So to be attached to something that she gave so much of herself to, and for us to have the opportunity to do the same was really cool.
That's great. I want to mention, I've noticed this new pattern when I'm watching these new coming of age films, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up, I'm a child of the 80s. And I feel like when I watched movies like this growing up, right, they were very similar in themes, right? It was kind of like the uncool kid discovering who he is, who she is. But I've been noticing that all these modern ones have like this really deep meaning to them, right? Like you're going through something, your character's going through something because he lost someone, the other character's going through something because the family got a divorce, and you're trying to come to terms. So I guess from a younger perspective, I would love to hear, why do you think the coming of age story has changed or evolved over the years?
Yeah,
I think, the stories that you're referring to were really serving a solid purpose when they were made, and they were highly enjoyable. And I think that they could still do well today, but they're different because, we live in a different world now. Kids have a lot more to deal with. Well, not more, but they deal with things in different ways. I think having some heavier themes, it gives a voice to the people who do deal with these things. So, people who have traumas in their past, can't relate so much to a whimsical trope of, the awkward girl and the goofy boy or whatever. So, having themes around mental illness and traumas and how they materialize in young adults, and how do you deal with those things through your romantic relationships and your relationships with your family and your friends, are super relevant, and they were then, and they are now. And I think it's important to have themes like these.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of this movie, and the reason why I wanted to be in it in the first place, is because every character, I would say, is more than one thing, and they don't fit into the classic boxes of the nerd, like the cool kid. Right. They're many things, and I think what's so fun and interesting about Auden is I actually think she enters this movie thinking that things are rather binary, thinking if I want to be an empowered, respectable person, I have to take my studies first, and I cannot begin to engage socially or have romance, you know. And it's not until she moves to Colby and meets all of these really complicated people that she realizes that you can be a lot of things at once, like, and also that we're different versions of ourselves with different people. So Auden is this awkward nerd that we root for, but when she's with Eli, she's kind of able to find a sort of confidence. And I know that's certainly true for myself, depending on who I'm around. I think, speaking to that, Heidi is one of my favorite characters in the movie because I think she proves exactly that. She's not the evil stepmom. She's not the stay-at-home wife who doesn't say her opinions. Like, she's deeply intuitive, deeply kind, deeply smart. She lived in New York and chose Colby. And so it sort of debunks and unravels all of these archetypes, I think, in a lot of YA movies.
Yeah.
That was a really great answer. Thank you. They're going to kill me if I don't rap. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Lovely meeting you both.
Oh, likewise.
Really
Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Take care.